Hey guys, and welcome to church. I know things are really different today because you're at home and you're not here at church, but that's okay because whether you're watching on your TV, on a tablet, or on your parents' smart device, we're still going to have church because although there's a lot happening on in our world around us, it is important that we still worship God and learn truths from His Word because God is the one sure thing that we can put our trust in. It doesn't matter what's happening around us. God is always faithful and He's always true. It's something we talk about a lot here, that we can trust God no matter what. I can do that, you can do that, and it's important that during this time, even though there's a lot happening around us, that we still put our trust in God. And so that's what we're going to do by worshiping Him and learning more about His Word. And as you know, in the month of March, we started a DIY project talking about forgiveness. Forgiveness, by the way, is defined as deciding that someone who has wronged you doesn't have to pay. And forgiveness is not something that comes easy to us. Oftentimes we have to work on it. That's why we have a construction theme, like a DIY project. You have to really work hard at forgiveness. And if we want to work hard at forgiveness, we can look to the example of Jesus. Matter of fact, our memory verse says this: put up with one another, forgive one another. If you are holding something against someone, forgive just as the Lord forgave you. Colossians 3:13. So the motions go like this: put up with one another, forgive one another. If you are holding something against someone, forgive just as the Lord forgave you. Colossians 3:13. Nerve. Now, we're going to spend some time worshiping. So if you're in your pajamas, you're in your church clothes, whoever you're with, it doesn't matter. Won't you stand up and let's sing these songs together? Here we go.
He takes our place and stands in front of God on high. He speaks on our behalf since we don't have the right. He pleads before the God who judges hearts of men. Our mediator served the sentence for our sin. There is only one God. There is only one mediator standing between God and man. He's the only way to salvation. Through the price that He has paid. He gave His life to purchase freedom from the fall. Our mediator was the ransom for us all. Come on! There is only one God. There is only one mediator standing between God and man. He's the only way to salvation. The man Jesus Christ, who gave us His life. The man Jesus Christ, our last sacrifice. The eternal Son, Messiah has come. The true Son of Man, the atonement Lamb. There is only one God. There is just one man. Oh, oh, look what God has done. Oh, oh, through his Son. Christ died for our sins, met death in his grave, then rose to life again. By this we are saved. By this we are saved. So Jesus' death has conquered death and killed our sin. And Jesus' life has brought us life. We live in him. Oh, oh, look what God has done. Oh, oh, through his Son. Christ died for our sins, met death in his grave, then rose to life again. By this we are saved. By this we are saved. This is good news. The Father shows us grace. This is the truth. The Spirit gives us faith. Jesus is King, and by this we are saved. By this we are saved. By this we are saved. Christ died for our sins, met death in his grave, then rose to life again. By this we are saved. Christ died for our sins, met death in his grave, then rose to life again. By this we are saved. By this we are saved. By this we are saved. By this we are saved.
Nice job, everybody. Why don't you go ahead and have a seat and check out this video.
Hey peeps! I'm Erica, and I'm happy to welcome you to my home sweet home, Fixer Upper! Today, we're talking about two things. Number one, forgiveness. Forgiveness is deciding that someone who has wronged you doesn't have to pay. And number two, paint! As you can see on my ceiling, there are marks from previous residents that could definitely use some cover-up. How did they get that up there? Anyway, guess they're working on their kickboxing. Hi-ya! My landlord, Miss Watson, hired someone to paint the place. He was supposed to be here last Wednesday, and then last Friday, and then yesterday. 3 no-shows. Now I could get really mad at that unreliable painter guy, or I could do the painting myself. So, first step, painter's tape, painter's tape, painter's tape, painter's tape. Applying painter's tape is important because it helps keep the paint off the places you don't want painted. Don't worry, it's quick and paintless. Paintless. Let's do it. All right, why do they make these things so, okay. Oh, it's a close one. Wait, oh no! Ah! This would have never happened if that painter showed up like he was supposed to. But I guess I'll forgive him. As long as he apologizes first. And as long as he paints my apartment free of charge. And pays for my doctor's visit. It's up to him to make it right. Or, as you'll see in today's story, it could be that the first step in forgiveness is up to me. think I'm gonna need a do-it-yourself sling for my arm. First step, painter's tape. Bye.
Today in our Bible story, we are going to be talking about something that Jesus taught us. It was an incredible truth. Jesus taught us a lot of things, most importantly of how we should live. And some of the things that he taught us about was, one, forgiveness and how we should forgive others. So let's check out this thing that Jesus said while he was here on earth. He said, suppose you're offering your gift at the altar, and you remember that your brother or sister has something against you. Leave your gift in front of the altar. First, go and make peace with them. Then come back and offer your gift. Now, I know that doesn't make a ton of sense, and a lot's going on here. But Jesus was trying to teach us something about what it means to forgive. And so, to help us do that, I've got a board game for us. And this board game is called Real Life. This is our board game of Real Life. And here we have two characters. They're friends, Jill and Bill. So what's going to happen in the game is Jill and Bill are both going to draw cards to see what happens in their real life situation. So Jill's going to go first. Let's see what happens. It's your birthday. Move forward 3 steps. Well, that's pretty sweet. 1, 2, 3. Now it's Bill's turn. His card says, you didn't get invited to your friend Jill's birthday party and it hurt your feelings. So you say something mean to her. Move away from your friend 3 steps. 1, 2, 3. This kind of thing happens in real life, doesn't it? Maybe it's a disagreement with your friend, like what's happened here, or a misunderstanding with your brother or sister, or something you said when you were angry, even though you didn't really mean it. Whatever it is, it drives you apart. It causes a break in your relationship. It's not fun, but it happens to all of us. We argue with people. We disagree. We get annoyed and frustrated. It's a part of real life. So let's see what happens next. It's Jill's turn to draw a card. Her card says, you've had a great birthday party and you get some awesome gifts too. Move forward 2 steps. 1, 2. That's pretty sweet. But what's happening over here with Bill? Well, let's see what it says. You find a new friend to sit with at church. Move forward 1 step. So it's pretty awesome that Bill has gone to church and he's found a new friend. But do you see what's happening here? It looks like these 2 friends are going down 2 separate paths instead of trying to fix what was wrong between them. To us, the solution might seem pretty simple. All it would take is for them to talk about it, tell each other how they felt, and say they're sorry. But it's not so easy to do that. It's always tempting to move on your own path without apologizing. You might think you know who should apologize in this situation and who deserves the apology, but the truth is, life is complicated. More often than not, one person isn't completely at fault. It's often both people in an argument that need to apologize. But what do we usually do? We tend to think about what the other person has done wrong, and we think about what we have done right. So let's see if these 2 friends can fix what's going on. It's Jill's turn. Her card says, you realize that your friend, Bill, isn't speaking to you anymore, and it hurts. Take a step back. Ouch. So let's see what happens over here on Bill's path. His card says, you keep going to church and making new friends. Take 2 steps forward. Well, that's pretty sweet for Bill. He's still going to church and he's making new friends. But here we are still. These 2 are moving on without having dealt with the real problem that's torn them apart. We often do that, don't we? We may be in an argument with someone, but we keep praying, we keep worshiping God, and we even keep going to church, just like Bill. But we move on with our lives without doing anything to fix what's wrong. But the truth is, there's this great divide between us and the other person. So let's do another round of cards to see what happens next. It's Jill's turn again. Her card says, you know your friend is still mad and you think about trying to explain why the party was so small and then that you couldn't invite everyone. Take a step forward. So already Jill's starting to make some kind of realization here, but let's see what happens with Bill. Bill reads Matthew 5:23 through 24 and realizes what he needs to do to take the path of peace. So let's read Matthew 5:23 through 24. Those were the words of Jesus. The book of Matthew is the first book in the New Testament. Matthew chapter 5, verse 23 says this, suppose you're offering your gift at the altar and you remember that your brother or sister has something against you. Leave your gift in front of the altar. First, go and make peace with them, then come back and offer your gift. So, Bill decides to go ahead and make peace with Jill. So we're going to have him cross this path of peace. But let's see what happens with Jill. Your friend apologizes for being mad and saying things about you behind your back. You also apologize for your part. Well, this is kind of cool because now Bill and Jill are here together. So let's see how this game ends because this is our last card. You tell your friend that you're sorry for the things you said. Bring your friend with you and move to the end. You've both won. It might have just seemed easier to move on and keep living their lives instead of apologizing. But Jesus said that before we do anything else, we should make things right with the other person. And you and I should take the first move to make things right. Our game today turned out really well. One friend took the first step to apologize for the things that she had done wrong. But really, both friends realized they could have done things a little better. So they both apologized and both of them forgave each other. This isn't easy to do. Like I said, it's real life. All of us can think about situations where we've gotten in an argument with someone else. And like I said, sometimes it's easier to think about all the wrong that that other person has done and think about all the things we've done right. And we don't want to take the first step to apologize. But Jesus has taught us that we should take the path of peace. We should take the first step to apologize. We should take the first step to forgive. And so that's why our bottom line today is this. Take the first step to forgive others. Jesus took the first step to forgive us when he came down to this earth to die on the cross for us. And in doing that, he set an example of how we should treat other people. Whether they have wronged us or we have wronged them, as followers of Jesus, we should take the first step to forgive others. Think about this game of real life or any kind of situations in your life where you can take a first step to forgive others. Let's check out this closing video.
Painter's tape can solve so many problems, people. Forgiveness can too. In fact, Jesus said you should make things right with other people before you make things right with God. Let me explain. When people turned away from God in the beginning, their relationship with Him was broken. The only way they could make things right with God was to sacrifice animals at the temple. All that changed when God sent Jesus. Jesus sacrificed His own life to make things right with God for us. We didn't have to earn it. We didn't have to pay for it. Jesus took the first step. That's what we need to do when someone has done or said something that hurts us or makes us mad. We need to take the first step to forgive. And quickly, because the longer you wait, the harder it gets to make things right. So here's the one thing to remember today. Take the first step to forgive others. Sometimes forgiveness is quick and painless. Sometimes you're going to need to ask God to help you forgive. But no matter what, it's up to you to choose to forgive the other person and wipe the slate clean. That was way easier than painting. This is fun. Until next time.
Take the first step to forgive others. That is your challenge this week, and you can do that even within your home. I encourage you to talk with your mom and dad about ways that you can take the first step to forgive. I hope you had fun today watching church on your TV or smartphone or tablet, whatever it is, and we hope to see you soon. Have a great week.